Hey folks, new video today. As a lot of you may be already aware, there has been a absolutely horrific fire breakout in London, Kensington Borough. Grenfell Tower residential flats completely up in smoke, like an inferno of flames. At least 12 people have now sadly died. At least 50 people have been taken to hospital in critical condition. That number the death toll expected to go up, unfortunately, is the case. So I wanted to make this video to just point out just how, not only how traumatizing this is, obviously, for the people involved and the victims who are now without a home, without any, just the clothes on their back and nothing else. I just feel so sorry for them, and also the fact that over the past few years at least, there has been an action group, specifically the Grenfell Action Group. The residents of the tower flats have been repeatedly sending out messages and warnings to their borough council, to their housing organisation management people, that they believed that their flats were unsafe. There were various health and safety hazards that hadn't been looked into. People cutting corners, people, blocking access to fire exits. The car parks being shut, power surges in other sort of nearby flats that could have caused fire and have caused fires in the past, and nothing being done about it, causing more fatalities. So yeah, I'm just gonna draw your attention to some of these blogs and some of these quotes because I think they're quite important, just to raise awareness of like the realness of what's going on and just the pure negligence of it, pretty much. So this was written in November of last year, so 2016. Residents were informed by a temporary notice stuck in the lift and one announcement in a recent regeneration newsletter that they should remain in their flats in the event of fire. There are not and never have been any instructions posted in the Grenfell Tower notice board or on individual floors as to how residents should act in event of a fire. Anyone who witnessed the recent tower block fire at Shepherd's Court and nearby Shepherd's Bush will know that the advice to remain in our properties would have led to certain fatalities, and we are calling on our landlord to reconsider the advice that they have so badly circulated. The Grenfell Action Group predict that it won't be long before the words of this blog come back to haunt the KCTMO, so the Kensington Chelsea Tenant Management Organisation, and we will do everything in our power to ensure that those in authority know how long and how appallingly our landlord has ignored their responsibility to ensure the health and safety of their tenants and leaseholders. They can't say they haven't been warned. So make no mistake, these things have happened in the past, and these things have happened because these issues have been ignored, because the people living in this flat are poor people who do not get listened to by one of the richest boroughs in the city, possibly in the entire country. I mean, the difference and like the scale of inequality here, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's unbelievable. Another quote that, is really quite poignant to what I've just said. This was written in 2013, actually, with regard to blocking fire exit access and things like that. So one quote: "Either way, this reeks of criminal negligence to us, and as usual, there's very little the disempowered and uninformed residents of Lancaster West can do about it." So there you go. Disempowered and uninformed. What can poor people do against rich people with all the money? And so yet they've been going on about this for years and years, warning people, anyone that will listen to them, about, health and safety hazards. This building is not safe. There's dangers where, like, there's no fire safety instructions, like we're being instructed to stay inside rather than try and escape. And you can't make this up. And, it's gross negligence. It really is. And we're being told, like, speculation obviously at this time, but Last year the tower block itself was refurbished, and several bits and pieces were put in, including some external cladding, which I don't think benefited the residents much, but the reason why, rumour has it, that it was done was to be more aesthetically pleasing for the people outside in Kensington, like other people living in Kensington, to make it look nicer, which is just disgusting. I mean, like, you can't make this up. I mean, to make it look nicer because people don't want to have an eyesore out their front window when they get up in the morning. It's just, and you can see, if you've seen images of this fire going up, completely up, and within like 5 minutes, the whole building is engulfed in flames. The whole thing, honestly, it's like a nightmare. And I mean, that whole outside of the building is just flames. So you can definitely see how, that aspect could have been responsible for the whole, cladding thing. So, I mean, you have to ask, who do you hold account for this tragedy? People are without homes, without families. People have died. I mean, it's almost as if in this day and age, we have to wait for something incredibly awful and tragic to happen for someone to finally wake up and do something about it. I'm sorry, but it's true. I mean, you could say the same about the terrorist attacks that have taken place. People have picked up the phone and warned anti-terrorist police about certain people that they think are causing trouble and they're worried about in their community, that they think they might commit like a terrible act of terrorism. And nothing is done about it until they actually go out and bomb people. Innocent people who have done nothing wrong. That's what it takes for people to actually do something, to take action. And it's so frustrating because it's like cuts to emergency services. People, cutting corners and costs in terms of housing and putting lives at risk and just completely not caring to even give a thought for basic safety. And it's just like, I have no words. I have no words for this kind of disgusting negligence, and the societies that we're living in today, the absolute chasm between rich people and poor people, people who have not. And it's disgusting to keep looking at this and waking up every day, pretty much every other week, and seeing something that could have been prevented. People are dying in the streets, and then afterwards it's proved that yes, there's something could have been done to prevent this from happening. But obviously I understand that things can slip through the net and not everyone can be, caught and things like that. But you have to take people to account for this sort of stuff. I mean, it's just on a scale that we've not seen before. There was a firefighter outside making some sort of like a press junket saying, I've fought tower block fires for 30 years and I have never seen anything like this in all my career. I mean, that just goes to show, doesn't it? I know I'm harping on, but it's just, these are real people with lives who are just being so discriminated against that they're just getting ignored and not listened to, and something needs to be done. People need to be held to account, whether it's Boris Johnson telling the London Assembly person to get stuffed 3 years ago, or whether it's more government officials cutting emergency services, whether it's housing committees not willing to spend enough on health and safety. And it's just like, I've got no more words. So with that, let's see what happens. So see you later, guys.